come out in many cases and be able to go on a job and be able to prepare to perform immediately. Young people face this challenge every day, and so we have to evolve our school system in such a way that these young people are prepared for it. But secondly, Mr. Lloyd, something else that the Prime Minister hinted at is that we have to make sure that sufficient numbers of young people who come out of the school system have been adequately given the opportunity in school to prepare for those careers. What do I mean by that? Any number of young people we've found don't have the literacy skills, don't have the numeracy skills that they need to be able to compete in this world. That is one of the reasons why you've had some of the problems you've had, excuse my voice, with conflict among young people. And so we have launched a numeracy project in the Ministry of Education. We have launched a literacy project, and we are seeking to get to these young people because we find that if you don't get to them by grade 3 in primary school, you have a difficulty with them for the rest of their life. And so we are seeking to be able to get to them at very early ages. And as a result of that, you will see, I anticipate, a group of young people who are coming up now who are going to be able to have those types of skills that we need.
Still a distinct difference between the performance of males and females?
Absolutely.
How vast is that difference?
It is vast enough that we are concerned about it.
Any particular programming and strategies to address that?
Well, first of all, we have to tell young men in this country that it's time to get serious about some things, and we have to speak very frankly with them. Persons like yourselves who are role models in our society, we have to continue to develop mentoring programs so that they understand that this just didn't come to you overnight, that you worked hard for it, that you went to high school, you determined that you were going to do some things in life, and you worked for them. And even when you became a professional, you went back to school to further educate yourself. We have a culture among many of our young men where things have been too easy, where you would come out of high school and the hotel would call you, you'd have a job there. You didn't have to compete. We didn't have this concept of globalization that we have now. And so too many young men have just sat on the blocks. Too many of them are doing things, engaging in antisocial conduct, and they're not preparing seriously for the challenges of the academic world. On the other hand, many of our young women are staying at home, and they are preparing, and they are doing their work, and they are being serious. And you would notice that the Prime Minister indicated that in many, many areas, young women are leading, such as in the public service, such as in academia. We have to get our young men to be serious about it. Now, there are some good things happening with some young men. When I gave the awards, the awards, high school awards for the best BJC and BGCSE examination results, the top awards in many cases were taken by young men.
Congratulations.
But across the board, there is a concern.
Our special guest, the Minister of Education, the Honorable Desmond Bannister, coming back.
John Bull is truly the shopping paradise of the islands. John Bull's relentless pursuit of perfection ensures that each customer has an unparalleled shopping experience, offering a mesmerizing blend of illustrious timepieces, exquisite jewelry, leather and accessories, sensuous fragrances, along with cosmetics and skincare. John Bull is dedicated to providing customers with the most luxurious products from around the world. Come in today and let one of our trained sales professionals assist you in making the right selection to fill your need. John Bull, a Bahamian shopping tradition since 1929.
Welcome back, Welcome back.
Waited my whole life for this moment. Always knew that I would see the day. Even though me they didn't believe in. It was cool cause I believed in me. And I knew the harder than the times.
Are you or a family member spending hundreds of dollars on medications each month to treat one or more of the 11 chronic diseases covered by the National Prescription Drug Plan? Your NIB can save you money if you belong to one of these groups: NIB pensioners, NIB invalids, children, Bahamians 65 and over, indigent persons, staff of Her Majesty's prisons, and staff of the industrial schools, members of the Royal Bahamas Police Force and the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, officers of the public service, women who are pregnant or postpartum. Find out how you can benefit. Visit our website, www.nibdrugplan.com, or call 356-2032 or toll free 242-300-0001. Your NIB wants to help.
Thanks a lot for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. Jeffrey Lloyd tonight with the Minister of Education, the Honourable Desmond Bannister, Member of Parliament for Kamaiga. Mr. Minister, I'm going to talk a little bit about the budget, and I know you are not going to tell us what's happening in that budget because you're probably still in the preparatory stages of it. Let's speak a little bit about students who are planning to study abroad and the government's sponsored scholarship scheme. First of all, is that scheme still operative? And has there been a restoration to the previous levels of opportunity for students wishing to go aboard?
Well, thank you for raising that, Mr. Lloyd. Not only has there been a restoration to previous levels, the scholarship program is at levels that it's never been at in the history of this country. And there's been so much propaganda out there and silliness that many young people have been misled. And so I'm grateful that you raised this issue. In last year's budget, the government put $7 million for scholarships. The previous year we had $6 million. That has never happened before in the history of this country. We've never ever had $7 million in grants available to young Bahamians. It is true that we do not have the loans available, but these are outright grants now. They're no loans. Nobody has to pay anything back. All you have to do is show that you have the academic qualifications to earn them, and you can get a scholarship. And well, there are two things. The second thing, of course, is that you want to be studying in an area that is relevant to the development of the Bahamas.
Absolutely.
Secondly, with respect to the scholarship program, the government has set aside a minimum of $1 million earmarked for the College of the Bahamas. So students going into the College of the Bahamas with 5 BGCSEs, with at least a C in math and English, are guaranteed that the government will ensure that their fees are paid, that they have a grant. And so you can go to the College of the Bahamas now. If you come out of high school with your BGCSEs, you are assured that you can go to the College of the Bahamas and you do not have to find the funds for it. These are innovative programs that have started over the last 3 years, and we are very, very grateful that we've been able to put these funds aside for young people at a time when it's been very difficult. So we're looking forward to this year's budget, but we're also encouraging young people to take advantage of the opportunities, because we're rich in opportunity.
You have a cutoff date for the application of scholarships, and if you are able to, Mr. Minister, could you say what are the requirements in terms of that which one needs to have? I've been around the department that deals with this, and I see so many persons having to come back several times because they are not ready with the application process.
The cutoff date actually was last week.
Oh.
This year, we encouraged every principal of every school to have a day when they would let every 12th grade student fill in an application form and a scholarship application form for the College of the Bahamas. Why do we do that? There are many, many students who will exceed the expectations of teachers.
Right.
When you go into school, and I remember being in high school myself, and not being one who persons had high expectations for. But many, many students will exceed those expectations and will do well and will get their BGCSEs.
Right.
Last year, we had the best BGCSE results in the history of our country, across the board. We had outstanding, absolutely outstanding results at CV Bethel, at CR Walker, and at many of our Family Island schools.
Right, NGM.
NGM Major is another one, yes. And so we anticipate that this year, the results will even be better than they were last year. So we expect that many of our young people are going to qualify for these scholarships. We have required our scholarships department to give receipts to everyone who's applied. And that means that they go through the forms with people. They look to see whether you have met the requirements and you've submitted the documents that you're required to submit. And in many cases, unfortunately, people do not bring all the documents, and they have to continue to come back. That is one of the big cries that I've heard so far.
Yes.
But we are seeking as much as possible to ensure that there is opportunity available for everybody who wants to take advantage of it.
Now, is the loan program still operative?
The loan program is operative for those who had loans prior to us terminating new application, the acceptance of new applications.
Right.
So we don't accept new applications, but anyone who was in the program previously will have their loans continued until they graduate or until such time as a reasonable time has elapsed.
Granting aid to schools, Mr. Minister, big story a couple of years ago. How is that now? Are they back to some increases? And I'm kind of previewing your budget. Will there be an increase for schools who receive government subvention?
I don't know. The grant and aid was $11 million when I became minister. The difficult times that we are in, we cut the grant and aid to $9 million, a little over $9 million. It is still a huge amount of money. We were able to assist a number of schools that have programs, but the grant and aid program needs a thorough review. And we've started that because, quite frankly, there are schools that are getting grants and aid that ought not to be getting it. There are schools that are getting grants and aid that can get more. Some schools are doing exceptionally well. Some schools are doing poorly. The legislative framework for grants and aid was exceeded. And so we were actually giving the grants and aid, even though the law didn't permit us to do what we were doing. We're seeking to regularize that whole situation.
Yeah, speak to us, Mr. Minister, finally about your budget. I know, again, that you may not be able to say, but are there things that the Honorable Desmond Bannister would like to see upgraded, enhanced, advanced, or new initiatives established for which you will be going to Cabinet to say, please, let's fund this?
One of the critical things, Mr. Lloyd, in the budget that we seek to do is to upgrade facilities at our schools and also upgrade equipment in our schools. As you know, when the Free National Movement government was first elected, we built 12 new schools in the country. We still have many schools that were built in the 1970s that were built with a 20-year lifespan that are still standing.
Government High School?
Government High School, S.C. McPherson, L.N. Coakley in Exuma, L.W. Young, any number of these schools. And so we're seeking to build schools and to supplement schools. We're doing something in Inagua, we're doing something in Spanish Wells. We're going to be doing them in any number of islands because sometimes we forget that the Family Islands really need the same opportunity that New Providence has.
Yes, sir.
And so we are going to build some schools. We anticipate building 2 schools in the upcoming budget, and we anticipate building any number of blocks to accommodate students. So in Cat Island, existing schools. Right. In Cat Island, we're going to be doing something in Old Bight High School because when I went to that school, I saw the condition. We had to do something with that.
Sure.
And we are doing something now. So any number of schools in the Family Islands, we will be addressing these very, very serious concerns.
September is a couple of months away, Mr. Minister. Please come back and let's have more chats about education in the Bahamas. I really appreciate it. Congratulations on the great work you're doing, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks for having me on. And I just want to encourage our students that are going into their BGCSE examinations now to continue to persevere because you're going to see the results very soon.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot, ladies and gentlemen. The Honorable Desmond Bannister, Minister of Education, Member of Parliament for Carmichael. If it's Monday, it's you and your Monday. Jeffrey, good evening.